Dear Uni MGTOW, in this letter I will address a few things regarding Peter Nolan that should be of extreme concern to the MGTOW community. One thing that I will address is the fact that Peter Nolan claims to be a MGTOW, but is so far from it. I will clearly point out to you that he is nothing but a MGTOW poser. I will address how he is deceiving his audience by projecting to be a MGTOW, but is at the same time promoting and pushing for a plantation, even though MGTOWs have walked away from the plantation. This was clear and apparent in the video addressed to you, especially in the latter parts of his video. You may find this strange, but Peter Nolan's video addressed to you raised my eyebrows and woke me up to many things. I am not sure if you have watched the entirety of the video addressed to you, however if you have the time to read my letter, then I am sure you will understand what it is that I am talking about. One thing that needs to be addressed is what is MGTOW? At the very least, if a man was to identify with being a MGTOW, he must not be on the plantation. He must have walked away from marriage and or cohabitation. If a man has done so, and is trying to usher in another type or form of plantation, in Peter Nolan's case Islam or Sharia, then this disqualifies him from being a MGTOW. Some may deem a man that is trying to change the rules of the plantation a legit and even honorable cause, and that may be the case for Global Man aka Peter Nolan. But that is not what I am here to address. We have all seen men's rights groups at work and we know that their efforts are in vain. What have the likes of A Voice for Men achieved? What did Mel Fight achieve even after decades of activism? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. A man going his own way is one thing, but an MRA is something else. Even a female can be an MRA for example, but a female cannot be a MGTOW. Let's take this just a little step further, shall we? Look at the so-called documentary called The Red Pill that was put together by Cassie J. What did that achieve for men? It was nothing but a little pat on the head by a female claiming that she was bringing some awareness to men's issues. Have men's issues improved since then? The answer is no. If anything, male suffering has increased. Moving on. In my opinion, Peter Nolan has fooled his audience and his subscribers into believing that he is a man going his own way, a MGTOW. At one point, just a few years ago, even Paul Elan tried to do something extremely similar. Not once in his videos does Peter Nolan talk about MGTOW philosophy. Not once does he discuss how men can help themselves or each other from a MGTOW standpoint. Keywords here being MGTOW standpoint. Now this is not a dire necessity, nor is it a must, but when I watched his video directed at you, he speaks about him wanting to help men, but then says it's okay to sacrifice men and boys. Again he will talk about wanting to help men and boys and then repeat that it's okay to sacrifice men and boys. Our boys have it bad as it is. Personally, I found this bizarre and caused me to analyze his video more deeply. How can a man attack another man or even male child for that matter just because he has a problem with a relative of that specific male child? Is it fair to cause a male boy or any child for that matter to become expendable only because you have a problem with that child's relative? The statement that Peter Nolan says, which is, do unto others what they would do unto you, is not limited to the so-called others that he is referencing. In his video directed at you, it is clear that he is referring to not only those others, but also those others and any innocent party that those others may have. This type of attitude and behavior does not have a place in the MGTOW community. Any man that believes they can attack, destroy, hurt, or even injure another male just because in his mind he believes a specific relative of said male may do this to them is actually working towards the detriment of men. I thought MGTOW was about helping men. Recall shirts that girls wear that state, boys are bad, throw rocks at them. This pattern of disturbing behavior was displayed many times in the video directed at you. He also talks about Islam and Sharia, and at one point he was talking about white Sharia. He does this in such a way as to put fear in the hearts of his followers. This is extreme manipulation. It is as if he is telling his audience, hey guys, if you don't do as I say, then I will push for Islam to rule and dominate in your territory. In other words, you better do as I say. For him to state that he will push for Islam and Sharia to take over certain Western countries causes him not to be a MGTOW. Us MGTOWs have walked away from the plantation. We will not accept one plantation over another. It is laughable to even believe that any secular nation or country would allow for Sharia courts to have absolute power regarding family court matters. Sharia family courts are nothing but a bait and switch tactic by Western governments. What many men don't realize is that these so-called Sharia courts are not absolute final rulings. I cannot believe that Peter Nolan doesn't know this. The Sharia family courts are still deemed as being below the standard family court system. This means that if the mother involved in the Sharia family court matter is not happy with the outcome, then she can just take the matter to the secular family court system, which will have an absolute final ruling which will absolutely work to her favor. It is similar to the prenuptial marriage agreements that just fool men on many occasions. Men that fall for this trap thought that they were protected, but little did they know. Very simple. I am sorry if I am being blunt, but that is the way it is. Unfortunately, many men whom are MGTOWs that follow him will be too blind to see this. He also discusses Muslim women as though they are women that won't obliterate men. I have seen many Muslim women put their husbands through the ringer here in Adelaide, and in Sydney I have 2 cousins that are suffering from their exes as well. One of them hasn't seen his kids for nearly a year now. A woman can claim any religion that she wants to claim, but when hypergamy kicks in, it's game over for the man. Doesn't he even know what hypergamy is? This is a basic thing that all MGTOWs know about. But I believe that he does know what hypergamy is. It is either one of 2 things. Global man, also known as Peter Nolan, either is completely oblivious to what hypergamy is, or he knows what it is and what it means, but is once again manipulating his followers. What do you think it is? In my opinion, Peter Nolan is dangling an image of a female that appears virtuous in order that he control his followers. This female that he is claiming will be also submissive is the same female that is crushing my relatives via the family courts. The more I think about it, the more I believe that global man aka Peter Nolan is an MRA and is just using the men in the MGTOW community for his own agenda. He uses the MGTOW tag to attract men to his channel only to poison them with information that is completely destructive to themselves and to others. It makes you wonder where you will see the MGTOW tag in the future. Just picture this: a men's rights activist trying to give men advice on marriage in a YouTube video, yet using the MGTOW tag in the title of the video. To the man that knows exactly what MGTOW is and what it entails, then that man knows that this is hypocrisy. Just like global man aka Peter Nolan using the MGTOW label is also straight out hypocrisy. It makes me shake my head in amazement as to why his followers cannot see that. MRAs tried to control the MGTOW community in the past. We all know how that went. Men going their own way are much smarter than that. What else I find concerning is when Peter Nolan, also known as Global Man, starts talking about things such as where were you when his children were kidnapped. I can ask him the same question as well. Where was he when my children were kidnapped? Where was he when I was in that cell because of false allegations? How dare he say this about us men going their own way? Pretty much making it out that we have done nothing to save men's lives. That would mean content producers such as Stardust, Barbarossa, Sandman, Spetsnaz, Messenger Rising, Raging Golden Eagle, Turd Flinging Monkey etc. have done nothing to help men. Where were they? Right? Peter Nolan is not a MGTOW, and the pursuance of exchanging one plantation for another is complete hypocrisy from a man that claims to be one. Look. Let me break this down even further. As you would know, MGTOW differs from the men's rights movement, in that while the men's rights movement aims at changing the status quo, such as by changing the laws, MGTOW call for focus on self-ownership and withdrawing from interactions from women. If someone wants to pursue justice and get people locked up, then good for them, good luck to them, and I wish them all the best. But this does not make them MGTOW. Adding to this, MGTOW is a way of life which refuses to defer to women in defining the worth of men. Instead, it focuses on positive male aspects, inviting men to go their own way in life. The key words here are own way of life, or own way, not global man aka Peter Nolan's way. By Peter Nolan's standard, going your own way is not good enough because you were not there for him when his children were kidnapped. Not like any of us knew that had happened to him at the time. Not like we even knew of him at the time. Maybe if his viewers were a little critical, they would also realize that he is also pointing the finger at them. They were not there for him either, therefore as global man, also known as Peter Nolan, would screw them as well. Imagine Kakilai started to add the MGTOW label to his videos. What would the MGTOW community say then? Would the MGTOW community mind if feminists started to add the MGTOW tag to their videos? Imagine a feminist done something like this and the video that she had tagged with MGTOW had nothing to do with MGTOW whatsoever. This is almost exactly what Peter Nolan has done. Peter Nolan is not a man going his own way. All MGTOWs have walked away from the plantation and refused to accept one plantation over another. All MGTOWs know that all women are like that, and no matter what race, background or religion, they will behave the same way as other women have in the West. All women are hypergamous and Brefalt's law will always apply. Men going their own way are also not in the habit of sacrificing men and boys. If anything, MGTOW offers a safe haven for men to protect and better men's lives, not destroy them. And since when did men going their own way pursue or have preference for one plantation over another? Peter Nolan is not a MGTOW.